What's up, guys? Welcome back to another EPL preview here on New Age DFS. Got a nice big 5-gamer here. The prize pool's a little tinier than we would have liked with the only thing going on in the morning, but let's just hop right into it. First game, Chelsea minus 303 favorites against Newcastle, who have been red hot and rejuvenated.
Yep, that's what spending a ton of money does.
And people are hating on Chelsea for this, but this is how the game works. But this team, it would be kind of messy because Mount and Ziyech together isn't the best. One of them could either have monopoly or they could split with each other. So
probably a split would be my guess.
Yes, but we prefer just to have one of those guys in, not both.
Yeah.
And then for Newcastle, we're not seeing any Ryan Fraser in here, so it would be probably Target and Shelby splitting.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Maybe even Longstaff, but I
don't think Shelby. It matters a ton on a big classic like this. You're not going to be targeting them.
Maybe for showdown. And then Everton, Wolverhampton. Everton are somehow favorites, slight, but plus 125. They've been just flat out pathetic. We're thinking Anthony Gordon starting. He's not here in this picture, but if he were to take, I don't think he would take over Gray. I think Gray would just have everything, but that would be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Then for Wolves, we saw Nuri and Podence splitting. So maybe the days of having to pick João Moutinho is over. Maybe, I don't know. He's just Wolverhampton. I just don't want any part of them.
Maybe I'd avoid them for a day like today.
Yeah, maybe just Saw, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Leeds and Norwich. This is a must-win, probably for both, but probably even more for Leeds with how bad they've been. Minus 175 favorites, pretty big for a garbage team like Leeds. If this is the team, I would just assume Rafinha and Dallas would split, or they'd split. But if Harrison was in, then it would make things a little bit muddier. And then you could get baited by 60 minutes of Jack Harrison. And then Norwich should be just Rashica Monopoly. He'd be an interesting play, too.
If it's that team, I'll be surprised if there's no Gilmore. But if there's none, then, I like him a lot.
Yeah. And Southampton and Watford. Southampton minus 167 favorites. Man, no introduction needed for Monopoly of Ward-Prowse. And then for Watford, if this is the team,
Luza bait.
Luza, maybe Cucho or Itebo would split with him, but I don't know if I'm targeting any of these guys at all.
It'll be a Cleverly split, I think, if Cleverly is in.
Yeah, Cleverly for sure, but no one wants to pick anybody on this team. Then final game, West Ham, Aston Villa. West Ham plus 140 without Jared Bowen, of course. So we'd see Cresswell and Fornal split in this team. Just interesting without Bowen. It's going to be tough, especially a red-hot Aston Villa. And their sets are just as fun. We saw a triple split last game from them with no Coutinho, which is Digne, Luis, and McGinn. So...
And then Coutinho will still be their highest scoring player regardless.
Exactly. They're not a fun team at all. So let's get into the prices. Forward, we're looking, and we've seen
Rafinha.
Number
one there. Coutinho.
Let's just start with Rafinha. If this was like beginning of the season, this is the first guy in your build. You're not thinking about it, right?
I still think he could be the first guy in your build, though, in this game, if there's no Jack Harrison.
He just looks disinterested. He doesn't care. The fans are getting on him.
I mean, even if he does, look at his points. Like, he's still getting without even a goal contribution or set pieces last few games. Like, you still get the 11 8-point games and throw a goal in there, 20, throw sets on there, it's 30.
Interesting. Coutinho, I'm just going to keep saying GPP. One of these days, he's going to have a bad game. But we'll see. Havertz.
He's a ceiling player who keeps hitting.
Exactly. Havertz is interesting.
All of the Chelsea forwards are good.
He's been on fire too.
Yeah.
Bamford, he's probably going to be subbed early, but I mean, he has the stone cold nut matchup. I mean, I would be interested in GPP with some Bamford.
Yeah, I'd YOLO him in a build, but he's coming back from injury. He's going to be on a minute limit. So,
because as soon as you play him, he's going to get injured after 20 minutes, and then you're just going to be like, why did I even do this? Potence is somewhat interesting, but GPP, I think for me, Richarlison is pretty interesting.
Lukaku with Finn, kind of interesting.
No.
No?
No. He's not 5K yet. I mean, he's not he needs 2 goals because he's only getting 12 with one, and you can get 12 from other people.
You're right. He didn't have a floor at all. He was the same for Havertz, though. He's just more likely to score 2 goals.
He's just more appealing. I don't know. It just seems like he's more likely to do stuff. Keep going. Rashica is kind of interesting, especially with how bad Leeds have been. If that's the lineup we saw in projected, I like Rashica a lot.
Yeah.
At 6,800.
Very cashy.
Very cashy. Very good play, actually.
Yeah.
Antonio way down here. I mean, we don't see Antonio this cheap ever, so I'm sure he'll get some steam. Keep going. Dan James, kind of interesting. People always
Burned
like
me
Dan
last
James.
Week. Burned me.
I will never play this guy, but people always go to him. So, I mean, why not pick him in his best matchup he can get? If Werner's in, he's interesting, but I doubt he'll be in. Calvert-Lewin, same thing. Then it gets ugly down here. He-Chan. Chris Wood finally got his goal. Hope you guys played him.
Not this time, I don't think now.
The rest of these GPP, even Vlasic at 3,700, he isn't projected. I mean,
I could do that. Like that is
cheap. Man. I mean, you don't see him at that price, but he's kind of bad.
I mean, it's worth a punt, I think. We're the min price forward.
So now we get to mid, and they got the top 3 here, and these are the 3 decision points you have to think about. You really just want to see one of Mount or Ziyech. You really don't want to see both. It'll be very tilting if you get it wrong who's taking sets, and you can't pick both because they're both too much. So
I think you can pick both. You play my boy Vlasic.
But then he can't play Ward-Prowse against Watford.
I'll find a way to fit them all, I'm sure, in several GPP builds.
Who do you like? Do you like Ward-Prowse or the Chelsea guys more?
Chelsea guys, for sure. Like I usually am a big Ward-Prowse guy on lower game slates, and then when there's more games, I tend to stray away from a little bit more because you're obviously going for more ceiling. The more games there are, just because there's more opportunity for more goals. So like a 15 would be good on a 2-gamer. On a 6-gamer, it's not enough really, or a 5-gamer in this case.
For his price also. Nice.
Yeah, for that price.
So you could get 15 from Rashica, 3K.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep going. We got Gray down here. Gray is kind of interesting if he were to play. He seems a little overpriced, but he's good when he plays. Same with Gordon. Then we got...
It's one or the other, especially. I like them a lot more.
I mean, both, you're kind of like,
Like, it should be Gray, but you never know with them.
Yeah. Harrison, he's your boy. You keep playing him.
Got 3 last game and subbed early.
Yeah.
Even though he was taking corners.
Man, then mid is just like GPP plays, like Armstrong, Buendia, Neves. These are all guys who just get there. McGinn. Fraser's finally a midfielder, but doesn't look like he's in projected, but I wouldn't be surprised if he were to play.
Play anyway. Play anyway.
Jorginho, if you want a pen, he hasn't been playing either. Shaul's kind of interesting if he keeps playing left back.
I know, but K cheaper.
He's been all right at left back.
Been okay. Not really enough for me. Like I said, you're looking for upside a lot more than that.
I'd be kind of interested in Gilmore if he were to start. We don't know if he will, but he'd be interesting for cash, at least not GPP. Fornal, split of sets, 5K. I mean, you could do worse. You could go João Moutinho. That could be worse. So, man, Lanzini, GPP, Kovacic.
Ugly range right here.
Douglas Luiz, if you want 2 corners, hope that he scores.
Click is one of the goal-scoring center mid type.
He's actually not a bad play here because of playing Norwich. Ramsey, same thing. It's ugly. Luza. I always play some Luza. You got to sprinkle him in. He's going to do something eventually. Suchek, GPP, he's kind of cheap. You want to
pair him with the
Yep.
the Fornals or Cresswell.
Yep. Lees Malou, another one of your guys. Norman
Declan Rice is very cheap.
Declan Rice, Norman. Like, these are all guys who could do stuff. They're not there's no locks other than, one of the three studs. Then you got to debate.
Or two even.
Yeah, then what do you do? And then we got one last guy to mention. Genepo, winger, 3K, 60
was
minutes
in projected.
In projected 60 minutes of your boy. Maybe you can get an 8 for you at 3K.
He did get me a takedown one Southampton showdown game. He had like 11 points. He's like, I know.
I'll remember that forever. So I don't think James or Alonso are going to play, so you can just eliminate these expensive defenders. Don't have to tilt James tomorrow. Stuart Dallas, if he should be splitting sets. He has the best matchup possible. He's been kind of bad even with the sets, like really bad. I don't know why he's 5,900, to be honest. I don't really like him, but what about you?
I like him, but defender's hard. We usually were like just blessed with, can I play enough of these guys? And I was like, do I really want to play that guy, even though he seems like he's in a good spot?
This slate is just full of okay guys. Like, they're like, oh, they're not horrible, but there's no like, man, he's a lock. Yeah. There's no Ericsson. There's no Tellez or something. It just stands right off the page. 8 Nuri, I'm like, he's just been horrible. Why is he still this much? He's horrible. But
yeah,
horrible. Don't play him. Digne
is good. I think he's probably the safest of them all. I know you have a bit of a grudge against him, but like he just gets there.
He gets there. He's kind of cheap. I don't like the matchup against West Ham because they're just,
A tired West Ham from their cup game against Sevilla, just saying, which they also lost.
Cash has been just the best right back ever, I guess. So
I mean,
people could chase that for sure. I'm not gonna, but you can. Cresswell, I think, is probably the guy I like the most because his corners are actually good. So you could actually get an assist from him. Hope that he gets a lot of corners, and he's probably him and Digne are probably the two behind Dallas, I'd say.
Yeah.
Target, no bad matchup. Livramento is kind of interesting against Watford.
Good matchup, and he's been good recently. He's like a ceiling right back. Like you're hoping for a goal contribution mainly.
Yeah, he got robbed of an assist last game because of like slight deflection. So maybe he'll get a real assist this time. Aspi, if he's actually starting, I'm kind of interested in Aspi. I know he had a bad game. He got subbed at halftime, but if you want Chelsea exposure, like in cash, you just want to stack guys with nice odds. So you just throw Aspi in there. So hope that he can do stuff. Walker Peters has just been the best left back ever. So you could go him. And then it gets really ugly. Like Kamara, Ayling's kind of interesting if he's a right back. Just watch the formation on him. Ben Johnson, same thing. Interesting.
Yeah, they're all these guys are fine. I think you're still most likely playing just two set piece taking defenders or going all the way down for a punt with one of the set piece taking defenders.
Yeah, you're probably going Dallas, Digne, Cresswell, Digne, something like that.
Yeah, or one of them and go all the way down to just like a center back with your goalkeeper.
Yeah, so we go down here. I mean, we got guys who've been okay. Christensen, if you're trying to get a clean sheet. And then all these good. Sam Byram, I always play. He could maybe get there. 2,900 fullback against Leeds. I'd play Sam Byram, actually. Shackleton, there's rumors he could start. I mean, he's just a guy who's always this cheap and always does nothing.
He isn't cross at all. You're hoping for tackles.
Yeah. And then the rest of these guys, GPP or bust.
It's ugly. Yeah.
Goalkeeper. Mendy burned a lot of us against Norwich. Newcastle have been really hot. I'm not sure if I'm just going to plug and play Mendy at 6K on a big slate. it was a 2-gamer, sure, but on a big slate, I can't do it.
I think I'd still do it just because I'm not really sure how a lot of these other matchups seem very even. I don't know how safe I'd feel even going like a Forster. Like I could see Watford still scoring a goal and losing 3-1, and Forster would
Yeah,
not make any saves really in that situation. I don't think.
you're not used to seeing these prices on these goalies. When have you ever seen Melier 5,700 and
Yeah,
pay
they all
off?
seem a little much too. Mendy,
They
I
don't
think
keep clean sheets.
Mendy's the only one who seems like they're deserving of that price. All these other
Yeah.
goals like 100 less, but like on a much less favorited team.
Got Pickford. I mean, if you want to sweat and tilt Pickford, maybe. I feel like this. I know Wolverhampton just scored 4, but I could see them maybe getting shut out. Everton have to win this game, so maybe him. Fabianski. I just never play goalkeepers on West Ham or Aston Villa, so I'm probably going to do the same and not play either of them.
Yeah.
Sah's probably who people will go with because
Yeah,
Everton have been so bad.
yeah, that game feels like it'll be the lowest scoring. So I think either of the goalkeepers are fine for that.
Yeah,
Saw's just been solid too.
he's just a good goalie. And then we got Cruel. Maybe Cruel if you think Norwich can get an upset. I don't think he's going to make saves per se, but you're picking him to try and win.
I still feel like Leeds are going to bounce back. I still believe in Jesse.
0 goals, 4 against. Still believe, though. It's all right.
Yep.
We all are trying as a country here, right?
He's warming up. He's getting there.
Ben Foster. I mean, he was looking shaky. I would be surprised if he starts tomorrow. That's how bad he was last game. And then Dubravka if you're punting. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, this is a tough slate. You know, you make your decision at mid. You play Rafinha or Rashica at striker, and
With the Chelsea guy, probably.
yeah, probably with a Havertz or something. But yeah, that's about it. 5-gamer. We got a still busy day of MLS, Liga Max, PGA Showdown tomorrow, even though it's all messed up because of the rain. Make sure to sub to our Patreon to get at the Discord link and follow us on our socials, sub and like the video, and we'll see you guys for Champions League.
Peace.